Welcome to the Keep. I'm the Motherlode and I'll be your guide as we embark on the journey of playing Doom 64. Now this is the port created by Nightdive Studios on the Kex engine, featuring a lot of quality of life improvements that I think we've all wanted for a very long time, and it is the first official PC port of this game. So we're going to be working our way through about 40 levels in this series, but for today, we're going to start out with just the first 8 levels, which all take place in the UAC. So kick back, relax, and enjoy the ride. Doom 64 was first released in 1997. It was made by Midway Games under the, quote, supervision of id Software. So just take a look at that picture and tell me how much you want those guys standing over your shoulder. But it was released for the Nintendo 64, so right off the bat, that's a big double-edged sword for these guys to deal with. But it's on the modified Ep.1 engine at the time, but now this re-release that we'll be playing on is, as I said earlier, on the Kex engine. It sports an absolutely fucking awesome dark ambient soundtrack, a complete departure from the original Doom series, and that is thanks to the wonderful and amazing Aubrey Hodges, who is a true veteran of the industry and a real inspiration to the modern wave of dark ambient music led by people like my friend Immorpher. Doom 64 was a sequel to Doom 2, but it was often overlooked. And there have been a few different PC ports of people that have ported it into Doom 2, which have all been absolutely incredible, and we thank those people for their hard work. But now we're playing the official PC port, and I feel even now it's still, because originally it was released on the N64, and therefore kind of overlooked at that point, surely for not being the hardcore PC experience that Doom originally was. But now it's important to note that this was released as a pre-order incentive for Doom Eternal, and even now I feel it's being overlooked. Some of the critics that I really wanted to see take a deep dive into this port, they were more focused on Doom Eternal, and rightfully so I figured, fuck it, I'll do my own, and so here we are. Doom 64 is almost undoubtedly the true Doom 3. I mean, it's got everything. It's the perfect blend of the herbs and spices that created the original 2 Doom games, while bridging the gap to that darker, more ominous experience of Quake. With this port, we see a lot of improvements. First of all, the lighting. Obviously, in the older version of the game, it was very, very dark. A lot of people complained about it. They've totally fixed that. It looks gorgeous now. We've got an updated engine, we've got gorgeous looking video quality, we've got a fully Bethesda-sized menu, and we've got multi-platform play, including the PC. Now, if you're interested in the plot at all, it is outlined right here in the player's manual, but it's all summed up right here in the last sentence where it says, "Your assignment is clear, merciless extermination." So that's what we'll be doing. And one last thing before we get into the meat and potatoes of this. The playthrough that you see today will be on Bring It On. For the sake of brevity, I do not own Doom, nor have I ever claimed to. So we start off in the staging area. This is the first level, and it's very much a traditional kind of E1, M1 sort of map. First off, you just kind of come around this corner and blast a few guys away. It's not that complicated. It's really a good introduction to the mechanics of the game. You come in here, you bust some caps, and once those guys are dead, you get to the fun part. You want to hop over here, click that button, which opens up this door. You slide through, and then you get your chainsaw, and you want to use this bad boy. It's a double-barreled chainsaw. What the fuck do you want out of a fucking Doom game, man? Right off the bat, we're off to a good start. So you come up this level, and you're met with your first pinky. Now, the pinkies in this game, at least at this level, really not too bad. You can get rid of them with a couple of shotgun blasts, or using your new nifty double barrel chainsaw. But once you get through here, you come to the blue door. Blast that guy away. There's a couple of guys in this cage you want to take out. A couple down the hallway. And again, not too challenging until this door opens up, and then you gotta mow these two guys down. Wait, two? Oh, I'm sorry, I meant three. Ha! But it's not a problem at all. The chainsaw runs through pinkies like a knife through smooth, warm butter. You can pop down here and get yourself some extra health if you'd like. And you can even look through here to see a secret, which we'll get to later. That bastard will, in fact, chase you down if you haven't already picked him off before going down here. And then you come into this room where you have three, count them, three pinkies yet again. But you can make quick work with them. Is at this level, you're not really going to suffer for shotgun ammo. And then you come to the exit. And you can exit. Or we can go secret hunting. Now, I recommend that you do go secret hunting in this level in particular, and that will be explained here very shortly. Although I will say that we're not really going to be doing a lot of secret hunting, when I don't think it's necessary throughout this particular run of the game. But you can come over here, pop that bad boy, and you will understand why this is important shortly. So, this is super frustrating. I really had a hard time with this stupid-ass elevator. It pissed me off so much, but once you finally do make it through this piece of shit, and you come out in this room. Now, that's something to pay attention to. Real quick, we'll just go ahead and grab this secret, which is just behind an unmarked wall. You can tell by the texture being different. And now, we've got to take out all the barrels. This is one of the most well-kept secrets in all of Doom. I never would have found this without help from the Doom Wiki, so thanks to the people who run that. But there are 10 barrels laid out around the entirety of this level, and you will just go around and pick off each and every one of them. It's not so bad. And if you'll recall, I pointed this one out earlier, so we're going to have to go open that up, and then try to get down here. Fuck. God, I hate this stupid elevator. It's just the worst. Anyway, you blow that up, you pop in through here, you come out, and here's your last one. And you want to really quickly run through this door and out to get revealed. Anything in this level that looks too good to be true absolutely is. The first thing you want to do is drop down here and grab that key, and immediately you're going to fall down and be faced with these three guys. It's very important that you stay around the edges of the room, try to pick up the rocket launcher as soon as possible, and wear them the fuck down. Like, can't iterate it enough. I made it look easy here, but trust me, it's not. Then you come over to this room. This is probably the most painful part of the level, so you're going to pick this up. My opinion, you want to stop, switch back to your rocket launcher, and then ease over sideways, grab this guy, and then start firing as soon as these doors drop. There's 4 of them, there's 2 behind you and 2 in front of you. You're going to blast away at them, and unfortunately, you will die. You're just going to get messed up, and that's assuming you don't fall right off into the lava. But if you do it correctly, you'll be able to back all the way up, spin around and hit these guys enough to kill them before they can wear down your health too much. Then finally you just go to the last room. You have to ride through here and time this just perfectly, and I promise you I won't. As this floor just kind of drifts on underneath you, you want to slowly make your way over, grab this key, run to the middle again, dodge the shots, come out, and all that's left is to open these bad boys up and exit the level. So we move on to the Terraformer. Now this map is a little bit more complicated. Obviously it's map 2, so it should be. And right off the bat we're going to move into this area where it's real dark, and you'll come over to your left. You'll find the chain gun, but immediately you're going to be swarmed by 4 pinkies. Now, it's pretty easy to take them out. Just hit the barrels in the middle and mow them down. Come back out. And then you're going to go over here and turn the lights on. Now, it's not too bad. You get to move around a little bit, see yourself, and you get a blue armor out of the process, but unfortunately you get flanked immediately by people on both sides. So you're going to want to knock these guys out, come over here and grab the glasses that show you the truth about the world, which is fun. All that's left to do is just kind of mow these guys down that you can see in the dark and come over here. And now here's the puzzle for the blue key, and it's a real pain in the ass. So you know, knock that down, and you can't actually get to the key. You come over here, you try to get it, but it keeps disappearing in front of your eyes. So what do? Eventually it stays in place, and what you got to do is come over here, and you don't want to go into the ones that actually have the little, these things on the walls here. You push that button and like, oh god, you just get crushed. So don't do that. Grab this health if you do that first. And what you do is you come over here and you hit this key, and you want to run as quickly as possible over to grab the blue key, but sometimes it takes a couple, tries because it's a good distance. But eventually you will get it. Not that time for me. Sprint, 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 sprint. Got it. Okay, cool. And then as soon as you do that, the guy spawns, kill him. Come over here. Once you're through the blue door, it's pretty much smooth sailing. Just gotta knock out some imps. They're lurking around every corner, it seems, but they only take 1, maybe 2 solid blasts from the shotgun. There's some rocket ammo here. That is significant, especially if you did, in fact, complete Hectic the round before you. Get through the Spectra, which is a pinky that, turns invisible occasionally. That's pretty common knowledge to most Doom people, but if you're new here, welcome. That's your first Spectre. All just got to do now is drop down here, get through these crushers. You come over here and pick up the red key. And then you get a couple of imps that spawn. Take them out, get back through the crushers, which is a bit of a pain in the ass, to be honest. Exit through the teleporter, and then all of a sudden you're back up ready to go, and you just gotta find that red door. Once you do, you hit this trigger and the Terraformer starts to terraform the Earth, which unveils a new area for you to explore. Go on down. There's guys in cages down here. You want to be wary of them. Go ahead and take them out as best as you can. It's really not too difficult considering they can't see you before you see them. Open up this doorway and go up what appears to be a backwards moving escalator. It actually has no effect on the way that you walk, but really cool texture work there, especially for the 64. Pick off all the enemies on your way. And you'll come into this room, which is some kind of strange, perverted server room type situation. Who knows? Doesn't really matter. You kill all the enemies. And once you get through them, you've just got to find some switches here on the wall that will allow you to get to that key. So you come over here, hit that switch, hear the opening, you go through the teleporter, hit that, back through the teleporter, and the key is exposed. You can pick it up. You take it on over to the yellow door, which was at the beginning of the level, and you just spin on around and exit the level. That's it. Not a difficult level, but definitely a fun one. Here in main engineering, you start off in an enclosed space, but you do have this one window where you might as well go ahead and pick off some of these imps. You can see through the cracks. You come over here and hit the trigger, start knocking out the rest of them. By this time, you've got the super shotgun, so you make really quick work of all of these enemies, and you can just kind of zoom on around. You come out here to this big fat area, and it looks unclear until you get a whatever the hell that is drop down from the ceiling and make things a little more clear for you. You come up to the top of the staircase and grab this blue key, and then you're gonna slide on over in here. So once you pop past a couple of these enemies, specifically here's a Kako demon, ugly ass son of a bitch, and turn a couple of these fuckers into sludge before you start to ascend this tower, which you really don't ascend in the conventional sense. What you actually do is open up these teleporters that you can use to go up on these side ledges here, and then you will run around. You'll actually get introduced to a couple of lost souls up here. You want to try to evade them, and then as you get lifted into the yellow key, you'll have to make your way back to that yellow door that we saw earlier. Pick up the rocket launcher if you haven't already gotten one, and once you open up this little trigger, you get another one of these cool animations coming down from the ceiling. And knock off a few enemies, but that's hardly the most challenging part about this. What you want to do is come down here and hit these triggers, come into this room. It sets off another trigger which allows you to run across to that doorway that opens up across the way. So it may take you a lot of tries, and for me it definitely did, but finally we made it over here after several attempts, and we'll just shoot that guy through the cracks. Now once you get back out here, you can pick up that wonderful red key, come back through the red door, and that's all she wrote for map number 3. So the holding area is where this game starts to treat us like big boys and girls and takes the training wheels off. You're going to have a lot more monsters right off the bat here, so just get used to it. You know, we've had 3 levels to warm up, so why not? You come down here and you get yourself a supercharge right off the bat. If you miss it, I feel sorry for you, but what you want to do is go ahead and hit these switches, and then you're going to get greeted by a Spectre pretty quickly. Pretty easy to take them out with the super shotgun, and then you come up here to face off with some wonderful imps all over the place. Now all you got to do is pop down here, take out some of these lost souls, and the blue key is waiting for you. Once you get it, you can come right on back up. Make sure to pop this guy. Watch this pop shot. Yeah, get rid of him. And if you have a vigilant eye, you will have noticed this as you moved into the room. Now, if you didn't already get the chain gun before, you can pop a little bullet into that center spot and then hop down there and grab it now. Then you'll come down and another set of switches will be available to you. Hit them. This will open up yet another area for you to go to, and this will be sort of the final area. Some lost souls hanging around. And you're going to take a brief pause and have to consider this. Now, let's do some math. 3, 1, 2, and 4. Now, I don't think that I got that. I actually read it off the Doom Wiki, which, again, thank you to those people. But once you mow them down, you will open up a doorway across the way there, and you can come over here, take over these Hell Knights, and that will be your regular exit. But what I recommend you do is come through here, run across to the secret exit, and that will take you to yet another secret level. Outpost Omega is the first secret map that you're actually intended to find in this game, and it is very rewarding if you do. So here we go. Right off the bat, you kind of have like this one little secret that you can get to, just give you a shotgun if you haven't already got it. But the main thing is that once you pick up this rocket launcher here in the second room, you're going to have to face off against a whole bunch of imps, and it's even worse on higher difficulties. But then you're also going to have to tackle very early on a bunch of hell tomatoes and pick off a couple of guys through this room. But what you want to do is come back and make sure you hit that side panel to get the red key, because without it, you will not be getting a lot of the really cool secrets that we're going to be tackling here pretty soon. There's one of them and another one, but how do you get to them? Well, you ignore the blue key for now. You come up, and once you step on that staircase, you will trigger that armor and shotgun and turn to be exposed. Once these walls drop, you can come up here and kill a whole bunch of soldiers. And I mean a bunch of them. Once they're taken care of, you can identify the blue door here, but you know you gotta go back over this way to get the actual blue key. And once you do, this room actually becomes a shooting gallery. So you just pick off a few enemies here, and eventually you're gonna head right on back to that blue door that we were just talking about. Now this is the room where all the action actually happens. It's a lot of fun and it's very puzzling, so good luck with it, but mainly the first thing you're gonna do is pop down here, drop to your left once you've hit that panel, and you'll have access to the supercharge. You can always escape through that there teleporter, which will bring you back to the top, and you can keep going. So we're going to pop over here, kill this guy, and then you need to hit that trigger. Once you've hit that button, you can come back over this way and shoot this one, which will then open up even more opportunities for you to expose more secrets. So once you get up into this area, nothing actually happens up here, and it's really frustrating, but after you come back down, you can pretty easily see that you're supposed to shoot this button, which gives you the Unmaker. Now this is basically the BFG of the game, and then you'll go ahead and get this here demon key as well, which will upgrade your Unmaker if you're lucky enough to find it. Luckily you have me to kind of guide you through it, and don't worry, I needed guidance too. So once we get through there, you come back out, you have another little fight in here with some imps in the cages, not a problem, and then we have some lost souls starting to foreshadow what's to come up here. So you take that yellow key that you got from the room, open up this door, and then you're going to start mowing down enemies. And I mean, once this thing comes alive, you've got a baker's fuck ton of hell tomatoes. Here come the walls, there come the lost souls, and you just let the Unmaker rip. It's a really fun weapon to use. I love the sound of it, and just kind of vaporize all these guys, mash them. Once that's done, you can walk on through to the end of the level and exit back to the main game, but with your newly upgraded Unmaker. So the tech center is a little less heavy on the enemies, but definitely more challenging on the brain. So you open up and you immediately find the yellow key, but you can't access it. So you've got to run around all these corridors and uncover some secrets to get there. Once you come into this room and blast away all these enemies, you will be greeted with this damn barrier that won't let you go further. So you have to come up here, the next exposed area, and take out some specters. Come over here and get yourself plenty of health and watch this explode when you shoot it. Unfortunately, should have done that a little bit later because you still have specters to deal with. But you go up the elevator, and then you can come over here. You'll be greeted with some imps, and you'll just be looking for the switch to hit. Before you get out of here, you can actually strafe over this edge to get that super shotgun. And now that you've hit that switch, you can actually come back and get the yellow key. Obviously, you take that to the yellow door, and once you're in here, mow down a couple of enemies, make short work of them, and you can't really do too much in the way of getting that key because it's behind this cage. The switch does not do anything in this room, but you can go ahead and grab this quick secret if you'd like to. And get yourself a supercharge. Navigating through this area can take a long time if you don't know the secret. So unfortunately, you're just going to be going left and left and left and left. You knew that was going to have to come up eventually. But once you found your way through, you can actually get over here to that switch, which activates another area, and you continue to follow the Oracle Beyonce's secret to get out of the place, which will eventually lead you to this room with crushers in it. You can actually stand here. It's pretty fun to watch enemies walk into the crushers themselves. Dumbass. And before you go any further, stop and hit the switch. Very important. You do not want to be like me and spend 10 minutes walking around trying to figure out what you didn't do correctly. But you come back to this room, come over here and grab your key that is now unlocked, and then you can access the next room. This is pretty straightforward. You come in here, you grab the key, you get crushed a little bit if you're dumb, which I am. You back out and you keep on moving. You get a little bit of a surprise there, but nothing you can't handle with the super shotty. Go through the blue door. And now you've got yet another sort of puzzle to deal with. You take care of these imps, clear the room out, and hit this trigger, which will take you over here. Once you come through there, you've got another sort of maze to deal with. Follow Beyonce's wonderful advice and go left, left, left till you come out here to fight this guy. Give that switch a good old poke. Come back through. Now you can go into this area, which will take you to the exit. And congratulations, you've beat the tech center. Alpha Quadrant is where we really tie it all together. We have lots of enemies and lots of puzzling parts, and it's probably my favorite map in this section of the game. So first and foremost, we kick it off with this Hell Knight, and it's pretty easy to just knock him out quickly with your chain gun or whatever weapon you have available, but you will run into this switch that tells you that you need a yellow key. Now, if you haven't got one, which you don't, you're going to have to come over here. You mow through a whole lot of people, soldiers, the whole deal. Come over here and hit this switch, and then what you got to do is put down a few more enemies, and good golly, Miss Molly, are there a whole bunch of them in this area. So just take your time, don't rush it, mow them down, show them who's boss. So finally, you come over here and hit the switch. You get one more Hell Knight just for good measure. Gotta mow him down. Again, I recommend the chain gun because it's the most satisfying way to kill one, in my opinion. Get that yellow key and then come back. Now we've got this piece of shit right here. The ceiling part's blocked, but you could just come down and hit that switch, and then all of a sudden you're back in business. Come over and hit the second switch. And I'm fucking late to get... God damn it. Okay. I guess it's just gonna be one of those days, folks. Let's go. Now that that's over, we can move into this glowy, beautiful room of golden wonder. Take this guy out. Once again, you know my favorite way. And what we're going to have to do is get on this middle platform and hit that there switch. Once you do, you will open up a new area. Lots of monsters in there. Chuck some rockets at them. Get them out of your way. And get a move on over here to hit this switch. Now, if you do end up falling to the floor, there are a whole fuck ton of specters down here. But you can take them out fairly easily by strafing around these towers. And then you will go up these weird looking stairs, exit through this teleporter, and then turn around. Don't waste your time going back in there. Get that blue key that we saw earlier, and then come back over here. Now that the blue door is open, we can take our time defeating these low-life pieces of garbage. And then you go right on in there and go to the exit. The research lab is our second to last map, and it's a fairly simple one in that it is a big spiral, but if you lose your sense of direction, it's fairly easy to get lost on and end up spending a lot of time running around. So we're just going to hit the high points here. The first thing that you're going to notice is that the blue key is right there and you can't get to it. Take out all these lost souls and you're going to keep moving to your left. You can go ahead and take this opportunity to door creep on these caged imps. They're a real nuisance if you don't knock them out before you run into the middle of the room. Continue on the path. You'll come into this server room looking thing, take out as many of those guys as you can, and eventually if you stay to the left you'll hit that switch. Each one of these panels actually is a door that you can go into, and you can do quite a bit of exploring in here, but ultimately you just want to get the hell out of here and keep moving on with your mission. The switch on this panel raises the bridge that allows you to get to the blue key. If you'd stayed up there, you could have get that supercharge, but we keep moving. We can now access this area where we get the plasma gun, and listen to that kitty purr. Takes down specters like nobody's business. Come through the blue door and you'll end up with these two imps inside of the cages, and then... oh shit, wait, I'm taking fire. Whole lot of damage if you don't notice these guys sitting in the cages. I recommend you look out for them, but... continue into this area. You can't yet hit those red switches, but you go through this teleporter and freeze. Hit that switch. Jesus, don't run past that like I did. You can get the yellow key now. And you'll find yourself down here in this toxic sludge area. Now there are two switches that you'll be looking for down here, but also be on the lookout for a rad suit to help protect you from this toxic problem. You get both of these switches, and then you can come up here, access this switch now, and that will let you go into this doorway. You can now finally grab the red key. You know where to take that, right? Let's kill this fucking imp first. Now you can open up the red switches. You have to take out this fucking Hell Knight right at the end here. Now the bridge is up for you to go through the exit, shoot this last guy, and you're done. The final outpost ought to have been called the Red Lodge. You start off immediately in this room where there seems to be no fucking exit. Eventually you realize that one of these dots is a different shade than the others, and then you just go up this little elevator that opens up, and immediately you have a nice crow's nest where you can actually pick off a shitload of enemies right here from this window. So I recommend taking your time and actually doing this now. Go ahead and save yourself some effort later, but then you'll fall into this here trap. You just climb right back out and continue on your way. You'll find a switch here, a couple of nightmare imps. Not a problem. There's a second switch that you'll go ahead and hit, and then you can come over here by the blue door, and there's a long spiraling hallway, and if you take it you'll fight a couple of monsters, you'll get a shotgun out of it, and then you'll have to fight your way back out from some newly spawned monsters. But overall, I mean, it's not that bad. Pretty easy to do. You don't have the blue key, but if you go through this teleporter you'll find it. And then all you gotta do is run across the water. Walking into this area triggers the teleporter to fall back down, and you can go through it again. Now that you have the blue key, you'll come in here where the red key is, immediately go ahead and hit that trigger. Monsters will spawn. It's kind of the name of the game in this room. It's a big spirally mess. Sort of a maze. You finally hit that trigger, you come over here, get your rocket launcher, and some more monsters spawn. This time you got a Hell Knight to deal with. Luckily you just got that rocket launcher if you hadn't already picked one up previously in the campaign, which I can't imagine you've watched this video and not done, but you get the red key. And then you can come over here and face one more Hell Knight. Now, it's really easy at this point to just get lost and really find yourself wandering around for a long period of time, not knowing what to do. And that's just the nature of this map. You really can easily waste a lot of time just not quite knowing what to do next. Rest assured, what you do is you hit that trigger and then you can come over here. This thing drops and then you come through, kill off a few more enemies on a new portion of the map. Take that red key and put it to use. Now, this surveillance camera is going to be a pain in the ass. This room absolutely drives you insane, I promise, your first playthrough. You'll just sit there and go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, not figuring out how to do it. Oh, hey look, a soul sphere. Sweet. Give it a shot, take out that monster, and when you look at the surveillance video again, you can see it's pretty self-explanatory. Look, what you do is you just pick the one that it's sitting on, you figure out its trajectory, and then, I don't care, I've already got a plasma gun, I'm just going to move on, but you hit that little panel and get the yellow key. That was the secret all along. Congratulations. You find yourself out here, and you've got a lot of monsters to contend with, and they'll continue to spawn. Once you get over here, hit these guys with your rocket launchers. If you still got rockets to spare, hopefully you do. And then the exit finally opens up. So all you gotta do is climb that there yonder staircase after you've picked up all the items that you need from this area, because this is the exit, the last of the UAC facilities. Congratulations. We are moving on to the depths of hell. And that wraps it up for the UAC levels. Hope you enjoyed the ride. If you did, be sure to leave a like or perhaps a comment down below. And maybe check out the podcast over at inthekeep.com. And for the next episode, I'll see you in hell.